So how do you think real estate agents should present their social media strategy to vendors?
Yep. So there's a few different trains of thought on that. I think first and foremost, as with most things, when you're pitching to the vendor, trying to win a listing, you're the professional. You need to do it with confidence. So not going in there with a bit of a half-assed approach, not really knowing what you're talking about, which is easier said than done because most real estate agents aren't social media professionals.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, you've got to get to a point where you've got confidence in what you're pitching. You know the basics of what's going to happen when we run a social media ad for that vendor's listing, how it's going to perform. You need to know some baseline statistics. You need to be able to give them a basic rundown on what happens the moment we start that campaign. So what's it going to look like, that kind of thing. So yeah, presenting it with confidence is a massive part of it. We have a bit of a download that agents can use as well that we've done up. I think it's 3 or 4 pages. It's got some great information, and the whole point of that brochure is to help the agents be more confident by giving them something that they can physically hold, or they can print and attach to an email, and it does a bit of the legwork for them.
Yep. In that brochure, it's a white labeled brochure as well, which is good. And it's also a Canva template, so we'll actually provide a template link as well. But what it allows you to do is really download it, import it into your Canva, and chuck your branding on there. And what you'll find inside that brochure as well is some really handy stuff. Mainly the packages and also the potential results that they may get on their campaign. So there's like some potential impressions, clicks, like link clicks particularly, and it also will show you the channels that will be advertised on as well. And on the third page, there's also how does it work. And the other good thing about it as well is that, I mean, if you're using the Amplify system, there's also reporting that you can actually just download and send straight to the vendor, which is nice. Yeah,
which is another way to really demonstrate your confidence in what you're about to pitch and what's going to happen. You can, once you've run a couple ads, they can go and grab some sample reports from a listing in an area that's in the same area or close to an ad that was just run for a listing for another vendor, and be able to show that vendor some real world results. Go look at the clicks, look at the reach, look at the impressions, and obviously we sold the listing. We had 38 people through the open home, multiple offers, and that really, it's one thing to be confident. You need to be confident, but you need to be able to actually show them that the results are there. Proof is in the pudding.
Numbers don't lie.
Actually put it in front of them. So, and then we've got an FAQ on the download as well.
Yeah, you might, because obviously when you're presenting this, you may run into a few questions that the vendor may ask. So what we've done is we've kind of collated a list of questions that you may run into. But we've designed it in a way that they'll actually be able to really read those questions themselves and kind of digest that information before obviously asking
the vendor.
The agent. The vendor.
Yeah, and I think for agents, it's important to note that if there's a question they get hit with that they don't know the answer to, that just be honest about it, but then obviously lean on us. They can give us a buzz, send us an email, hit us up on socials, and we'll help them along their way.
Yeah, and I guess the whole point of this as well is like you can leverage us. That's what this is for. You're leveraging a social media marketing agency that specialises in real estate, which is, it could be used as a really good pre-sale tool as well. Like if you have a digital marketing team that tailors in this space, it can be a massive point of difference to competitors as well. So
do you think that an agent can utilize this tool, Amplify social media listing ads, to actually win more listings?
Massively. And to talk on that a little bit more as well, like if, like just like as I said, you're actually leveraging a digital marketing team, and you can sell it as that, because that's what it is. That's not a lie. It's not like you're going in there yourself and optimizing this ad, because you're professional. You are in real estate. You're selling real estate. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're not going in there and creating social media ads that convert and that generate the most amount of link clicks. So if you present your social media advertising strategy and it's clear and concise, and there's obviously reports to back that up, then if you're coming up against another agent that maybe doesn't have that and doesn't have the power to leverage a digital marketing team, it can be a massive point of difference. And it will inevitably help you win more listings.
Yeah, especially if you do it, like we just said, with confidence. You know a bit about how it works, what kind of numbers you're going to get, the results you're going to get. You put a fancy pants brochure in it, it's got your branding, FAQ, how it works, all that kind of stuff on that. You start attaching that to your email. You include that in your pre-listing kit or in your marketing presentation to that vendor. It's going to win. It's going to be a bit of an edge. It's not going to all of a sudden mean that you close 2 times more listing presentations, but it could be the point of difference that wins, 1 extra listing every quarter or every year, and that's still 100%. anyone would take that. So
you are marketing their property at the end of the day. So how you market the property will inevitably determine how much you can actually get for that property if it's correctly marketed and it looks great. And it's not even if it looks great, it's just like the saying, you can dress up a website all you like, but if there's no traffic going to that website, then what's the use? So you can kind of start to leverage these social media platforms. Like I think the statistics are there's around 21 million active users on social media in Australia, which is nearly 80% of the population. So it's definitely the right move.
It's starting to be expected for an agency to have a solid social media presence, maybe not in some of the more regional areas, but in your metro areas, you've got to be active on social media. You need to have a strategy. It's got to be something that you present 100%. To the vendor. So
in real estate, any competitive edge that you can get over your competitors is definitely something you should pick up and start running with.
Yeah, and even like in saying that, those regional areas, it may be less demanded, but I think there's an opportunity in those areas where it's maybe not the norm for it to be more of a point of difference for those sort of semi-regional rural operators, obviously not out in the middle of nowhere, but where there's still a
rather than chasing the 8 ball,
density.
getting in front of it.
Yeah,
massively.